Alright, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Derby County. A lot of this is pretty improvised. I'm not going to lie. This is also my first episode in time trying to really do like a let's play of a City Skyline city. But I want to create kind of a historically developed, realistic, what's the word I'm looking for here? Just a county, if you would. I mean, there'll be some cities, some towns, maybe a city will pop up. As you can see here in the background, I'm starting to set up the first few farms, which is going to be the backbone of the community when it first starts out. We're going to see how everything changes in the community over time. But for this first episode, I got the city to 1,200 people, started building out the city, the bones, the skeletons, and a lot's going to be changing. And the town's already starting to burgeon. I'm recording this, obviously, post-editing. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. With that said, I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit more of just this time lapse of me building out these fields. And then you guys will get into the meat and potatoes. We have a lot of work to do to get this county started. All of these fields here. So now, this over here is like where I think we're gonna have a lot of our commercial stuff, and then behind that will be like the town itself and stuff. So we shall get started on that. First off, though, I do want to upgrade this to just this parking road, so we can upgrade it in the future if need be. Then to So, there we go. We have our first big neighborhood that we'll have. Just a few houses and stuff here. And commercial right along the way. Now, we do need to get some power here, though. And I'm curious, so this is all low voltage and stuff, and that's the high voltage. We're going to go ahead, we're going to have this. Just keep following the highway. As we're coming here, I do want to try and get a substation of some sort built up. So yeah, this is the small one. I think I'll put this kind of like. Let's see how that works. Is that going to be like some ridiculous? Okay, no, actually, that could be like way worse. I will put a path here though, just to make that like an accessible building from the main street. And then from there, we'll put that. Boom. We have that all figured out. So that's awesome. I will also make one additional change, which is we're also going to have a small power line go here, and that's just to make sure that we don't have like an immediate electricity overwhelming, because this is just like a small alleyway. So that's just to really ensure that that doesn't get like stupidly backed up. And then we're going to make one more to the. Actually, can that even happen? No, we're gonna get rid of that because that's a not so great idea. Underground mode is what we're looking for. Okay, it's gonna take forever to find the thing because it just doesn't like to demolish quickly, and I have a laggy computer. Oh my gosh. There we go. Only after a minute or so of trying. That's cool though, that's cool. Oh yeah, one more thing. We need to get water. Unless that's already been connected. Ooh, this map developer is great. By the way, the map is Ithaca, New York. So that is the name of it. We're developing Derby, or rather, Derby County. That is what we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to start by putting down some commercial buildings there. And then I think we're going to leave this empty for some medium density housing. But the rest of this, though, I'm going to start filling all that in. Be a little particular with that. So all this should be building up now. And while that's all happening, I'm also going to start getting some paths just going along here. I do want to extend this alleyway. I will do that in a moment, but for now, I'm just going to do a few things, such as connecting a lot of these alleys and stuff with the back ends. Actually, I want to have that kind of parallel to that house. Boom, that's freaking perfect. That is perfect. Okay. Figure that out. I just want to get this to go all the way across the first before I continue things. I think the only way I'm really going to be able to get that to oh my god, connect efficiently is if I do something like this, where it goes and ends in this road proper. Why are we not? Pretend in our minds that that's connected up there. That's gonna be the bane of my existence for I think the rest of time. But never mind that though. I mean, we got a whole neighborhood developing here. I'm also gonna put some waterfront housing down here. And then so we're gonna have this like whole community here, people supporting the field and stuff. It's gonna be awesome. These farms will start generating us some quick money, hopefully, because right now we're losing a bit of money. That's why I went ahead and I built the farm fields first. For which one of these houses develops first. And I'm going to put it on 2 as a result, because I really don't want to miss that first construction being done. I will also go ahead and just develop the rest of these houses here. And then also eliminate that. So that unfortunately is going to demolish. It's okay. It's a-okay though. We'll remedy that in short time. All I had to actually do is I demolished part of the path here because it was really irking me. Let me keep this playing here. And I did a path going this way, and then I had the path kind of intersect at a not so 180 angle like it was doing. So that should have fixed that. Still waiting for building to develop here though. Kind of surprised it's taking so long. Let me just speed this up momentarily here.
first house, just barely. Played this in a while, so I don't know what any of these do. Um, but yeah, no, that's our first house. So that's freaking awesome. I like that, actually. Unfortunately, in City Skylines 1, like, you can do historical building, which obviously, it saves it from developing more in the future and, like, changing how it looks. But I don't know. Should be fine for now. Um, we're also already making money, so that's freaking lit. Yeah, almost 1,000. Now that we actually have the buildings down and stuff, this isn't just drying up all our money. Um, I do want to try though and start to get some sort of a facility going on here. I want to look at these water towers. What are these all about? Still also have the groundwater pumping. I'm gonna avoid using that though, because in case we do industry, I don't want to have a problem of like water coming in and it all being polluted over time or whatever. 30,000, 15, 10. We need to get sewage done. Um, just being a bit picky. We're looking at stuff though, because I want to see the upkeep prices. I want to also kind of make a small water treatment plant type of deal, if you would. We're gonna do it off the side of the highway, and I think this isn't actually telling me where it's going, and it's kind of annoying me. So we're gonna take a big old gamble here, and we're gonna go boom, boom. And from there, I'm gonna have this run here, run into here, have this come into here. There we go. So now we have our own water and sewage. So I'm gonna make a gravel road go between these. Highway. We already have a large amount of people coming through, so you see, yeah, we're still a little ways off from getting more roads, because what we need is to make this a 3-lane 2 or some stuff like that, where we can trying to make the words lane manage, so that way we're not just backing up with traffic. Also, we can get like roundabouts and stuff that would also be out frickin' standing. Making that this railroad up to it. We are also going to try and get a train station soon here as soon as possible. So that's what we need. We need the 3 lanes, and then we need to figure out a good way to get trains here. And I'm also a little concerned about this road here, because what I'm imagining is this going to be some sort of like public works area, where like we have our utilities and crap no one's to see or deal with in their neighborhood. And then the rest of this is, just going to be where the city starts. And we probably won't have these wheat fields here for long. I imagine these are going to get outgrown, but we're not even there yet. And speaking of, we already have run out of developable area except for the medium density plan, and I'm not going to ruin that for us. So, seems we can only expand south. Or whichever way we want to call this. I don't know. We're going to expand this way. Um, Obviously, this would probably be a property here. So I want to extend this alley out. And I want to see rainforest. So we still have quite a bit of room to work with. Just not as much, I think. So we'll go out with this and like maybe, I don't know, split this in half what this block would have been otherwise. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. That's freaking perfect. develop this whole thing to a whole bunch of nice housing for us. I'm also not going to develop much of anything that's necessarily on the so what I'm looking for here, the road where this property is, where the wheat field is, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to necessarily touch this guy's street, because that really is his own property still, like kind of back here-ish, I'd imagine. So, we'll see how that works out for us. So this farming community of just these few houses and some of these workers here is very quickly expanding. And because of that, there's now a lot more housing, sorry, commercial kind of on here that's also done in redeveloping. And we're also starting to get pretty close to this guy's property, so we can't really go much further than this. Alright, let's go. We already got that. So, progression panel. Here we are. We got a long way to go, but we did get all of this. So it's really freaking nice. We also got a medium density. So we have a lot of work to do here, guys. So let's go into our progression here. Actually, this is not where I wanted to be, I think. Yeah, there we go. So I want to start with getting advanced road services and highways so we can immediately kind of fix that problem we made for ourselves. We'll get into the other things later, but let's start by upgrading a lot of these. This is going to be a... Nope. Oh, wow. The game really just wants us to do this the absolutely wrong way in which we need them. Making the 2 lanes be up here instead. That is not what we need. So... This is not 180. There we go. Now it's 180. Then we'll just make the same exact movement over here. Awesome. So now that should be perfectly moving, and then we're gonna make a small kind of node here. Yeah, something like that. Because now this needs to be like, yeah, like that, correct. So that's gonna be able to turn in. That's gonna here. Perfect. Puts you back to a regular old 2-lane highway. I'm also gonna make a... Actually, hold on. Yeah, it might do us a bit of justice to make this a dedicated right turn right here. Yeah, there we go. That'll actually help us out a lot in the long run. And then since we did that, we have the opportunity to say that you can't make a right here. So you guys are only going to go here. And that also gives us the opportunity to do this. Boom. That is a beautiful merge, ladies and gentlemen. That is a beautiful one. That also gives me the opportunity to demolish you. Kind of do a similar thing in the sense of... that. But the catch, though, is that this is... I think I'm actually going to upgrade that to a 4-lane highway. So, how that's going to work is that... This is going to be, like, kind of jank, I think. But I think I'm going to do it right. Yep, There we go. That's exactly how I wanted that to look. And then this isn't going to be a right turn, remember? So, yep, exactly. So this is going to turn in here. This is going to turn in here. This is going to straight ahead. Perfect. Play. That traffic should be blended in very nicely. Um, I don't think this would extend all the way out here, but I'm too lazy to fix that, so it's fine. I don't also think this is going to need too much merge in this time either. I will bring it down over here though. Like this is a random ass state highway. This doesn't need to be kind of like that. It's S, if you would. Kind of not the most British way to say it. It's A-okay. Boom. So we're future-proof to this whole area now, which is going to be freaking awesome. Now let's look into our medicals. We got some clinics as well as a cemetery. So that's awesome. Let's really do need this. So I think the most empty-ish land we have is kind of out this way and this way, like along this river. Um, Now, I have a few plans for over here, so I'm not going to do much with that. Actually, no, I think I will have the cemetery over here, so I'm going to extend this road out. That's highways. Be careful. It would have been bad if I put a highway there. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, we're going to extend you all the way. Nope. Just try that again with a 90-degree angle. Cemetery. Get this, I think, as close-ish to it as possible. I think that will do. There we go. That's pretty good, actually. I mess with it heavy. No, we don't need a bear. We don't need to future-proof this right now. Also, it has a nice little church. That's awesome. Um, actually, I don't like it being all the way out there because it does have the church. I didn't think about that. Well, kind of a church. Let me see if there's a better place to relocate this. It's actually not too bad. I do actually kind of like that a bit. I am also going to finally add in out of the housing, so low density here, medium here in the back. Yeah, just down here. I'm not going to have it on this intersection though, for the specific reason of, again, it's right along this farm road. Realistically, I don't think you'd really have any medium density or some row homes here, at least in this corner. Yes, this is going to be developing real nice, I think. And I think I'm going to continue to expand it outwards. This is set on this road, which I don't like, but it's okay. So now that we've been growing just a little bit more, I think that we're going to seriously start zoning in some of these final areas here that we haven't already developed up. So that'll probably include all these areas. Um, yeah, we're not going to really hit this road. We're not really going to hit this road here because that's like right on the farm areas. Also, this was, I believe, yeah, this is a default road. This is not one I built. That's why it's a two-lane. If it was up to me, this would not be a two-lane. That would just be a simple alley, but I digress. Um, but once that all fills in, I'm really beginning to think that this area might be like the next big area, like where we really build out the town. We do also have some heavy industrial demand, so I might start looking at that. And it seems that a lot of the wind's going this way, lots of it actually. So that might be our excuse to kind of build in this general area, if you would. Maybe making this like the industrial area right here by the shoreline, and then I'm probably going to get sued. I have not built a single thing of healthcare, and I know that because I'm looking here. Boo. They freaking hate me. Oh my gosh. Alright, so we're going to remedy this right here, right now. Let's see what we can do with these health clinics. Um, that's a small one. That's not. I'm just gonna build a big one like out the gate, like with the other facility of the small cemetery. I did the smallest one. We're gonna go all at the gate because these get overwhelmed pretty quick. I think this is actually gonna be the perfect corner for it. Not even gonna lie. So let's build this John here, and then looking at you, maybe yeah, that extension wing. Yeah, we're gonna build that kind of here. There we go. Now we'll see what it needs from there, but it looks good so far. I'm also gonna bring this alley road here, and I'm gonna swing it around the back. As a result, bring that there, and that way we can maybe have more room in the future to put an extension over there. Which I'm not gonna build right now. I am curious. You can't have both those. That's a shame. That's whatever though. We can use that space for something random. But I am going to start building out this whole shebang of the industrial road. So I'm going to start off by having a road that basically follows right along Riverbank. So, got it from here. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly it. And we're going to bring this out. I don't know how I want to really do this part. I haven't really given that too much consideration. I think I'm going to parallel this. Just want to make sure we're not turning this into a highway. So let's rebuild the highway momentarily. Actually, well, not momentarily. This kind of needs to stay as a thing. Call that a day. We can play. And curve this to here. This curve just didn't work out for us. That's all cool though. Perfect. We have this whole area here. Um, I think I'm gonna kind of split this zoned area in half. We're gonna just right down the middle. So basically everything on like this side is gonna be our industry. And then this side, well, I guess sorry for the pause. This area is gonna be our residential. I'm gonna kind of demark that from this wheat field in a moment, but I wanna really of it being a regular two-lane road rather than an alley. I think this just didn't need that capacity like on the rip. So last part of this that needs to happen is I want to get a road from here that's going to kind of arc that. And I think the best place to do that's going to be right here. No, actually needs to be like one unit or two. Let me see if that works out. That works out pretty freaking well. Not too shabby. It's perfect. This area will be an uninterrupted, just residential neighborhood. This we'll have to play around with. This we'll also have to play around with because I don't want to necessarily make a neighborhood like right on the edge of the highway, especially in case this needs to grow in the future because well, this area is expanding pretty quick as it is. We already got to 500 people, and in real life terms, I've been sitting here for about an hour or two playing. So, um, yeah, we are not going to build too close to that for the sake of growth. Now, I kind of made myself a little hypocritical when you look at this, but it's okay. We'll figure that out in the future. Um, Another thing I'm going to probably do is I might make a second interchange, like right about here. That's another thing I'm thinking about. Um, so yeah, with that said, I'm going to start making the grid.
So for this grid, what I really had to do was make sure that there was enough space for industrial, but not too much to where it would be a really like massive sort of development. Simultaneously, there also needed to be enough room for residential because number one, I'm trying to level up still. We need that progression so we can actually build stuff. The other thing though is just to actually support more jobs coming in here. So as you can see, as I put things down, I'm building out the grid right now for the residential area. Industrial's already complete. Never really gonna add much more to that. But yeah, just making sure we have some connectivity, not encroaching too much in the wheat field. That's what that part's all about.
So what I did there is I've made the whole industrial zone here. I don't think I'm going to make any roads going this way because it's a little short. I mean, maybe for this block I might make like one intermediary, but these ones not. For this, like, because I'm envisioning this to kind of be more of an historic American town, this is realistically going to be medium density. And the reason I say that is because with industry, obviously there's a lot more people that live there. Um, so that's probably going to be a big block of just straight up density. We're also probably going to need to get a store front or two just around this general area. I'm thinking we'll have a few stores. And then the rest of this is going to be low density, especially as we get up to here. Yeah, these guys are going to be kind of pissed out, off. I don't know why I said pissed out. What I was trying to say, though, is that these guys are going to probably be pissed off enough to the point where eventually they're going to be like, yo, wait a minute, we got to jump ship. We got to get out of here. That the town's starting to outgrow us. And we're probably going to start seeing that actually where they might sell the land. But we'll see that in the future. For now, though, we got to zone this area. So let's get to that. I know you have seen I made an abrupt stop here because I'm kind of rethinking. Oh, nice. Um, I'm kind of rethinking my life choices because, as you can see here, this is awfully close to the medium density area. In other words, there's going to be a lot of people. This wouldn't be realistic historically, but that's just going to have to be probably fits in the future. So, I don't know. Oh, okay, we're progressing. I just have a whole lot of interruptions in my rants about American historical density here. Where was I? Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. Maybe I'll build here. Maybe that's actually where we're going to put the storefronts. In fact, actually, you see, this is when I talk things out in my head. I'm a little crazy IRL. It's alright though, guys. It allows us to build up like that. I might also make one of these plots the school as well. path a little bit elevated, but I think it'll be fine. I'm actually gonna do it right in this line, just for the small elementary school for this new neighborhood. We'll also, yeah, unpause. I'm gonna, how would I even put this path up? Actually, yeah, I actually just genuinely think I murdered the path, so never mind. Yeah, we'll let the commercial grow here as it does naturally. Um, if not enough of these grow here, it's fine. In terms of the residential, we'll figure it out. I mean, these, I think, pretty much, yeah, some of these are only just now growing in these medium densities, so it's fine. It'll be figured out in due time. For now, though, going back to the new area, we got to put down our high school, and this is kind of what we're working with. And honestly, the way this corner looks, I don't want it to be here, but I also know that we're going to need facilities and most likely extension wings. In fact, I think it might be the same for this, probably. Yeah, an extension wing, gymnasium. Might have cooked ourselves here, boys. It's alright, though. Um, if anything, they can kind of cross the street here if they absolutely need to. You can always just build another school as well. They're going back to the high school. I don't want to make that mistake I just made with the elementary school, in case we need to expand. So, I might take advantage of this block right here next to the medical clinic, and I'm going to go ahead. I might just future-proof this now. Don't want this to snap into the, just to smoothly snap into the building. Don't know why it's rotating the way it is, but it's fine. We'll deal with it. Boom. I think actually it's fantastic. Gymnasium. Oh, and the high school sports park. We're gonna need a sports park equipped, but I don't think we will. I think we're just gonna leave it to that, and we'll let that go naturally. Now, also too, these guys also might get priced out in addition to them. So both these guys might be on the chopping block, but we're getting ahead of ourselves with that one. We'll see how the high school in this area develops and what these farmers think. So we are starting to get a little bit of backup here, and I don't like it. So I will make one of my first few changes. I'm gonna pause really quick for right now because I want to make that a 4 lane. I also just don't want this to be a traffic light. I want this to be a traffic light. And then we're gonna continue to expand here. I think we're gonna make it a 4 laner up until this. Once again, we're gonna get rid of this traffic light and then play. So hopefully that will help our traffic a little bit, just give us a little bit more capacity to enter the town. That's the first thing we're gonna do. Second thing I want to do is I'm gonna start managing our taxes a little bit. So, I mean, we are making more money than we are losing, so obviously that's pretty damn good. But we are losing a bit of money. So what I want to do is increase our industrial taxes to 11%. Because number one, I don't want there to be that much industry in this area. I would really like to avoid that if possible. The other reason I'm doing that is so that way we can. Well, yeah, actually, no, mainly just for the fact that I want industry to not be here as much. And along with the rest of the traffic improvements, as well as managing the new industrial district, the final part of this is going to be building the interchange right around here. So I'm going to start off by pausing the game, and I want to just bring that all the way out, and I want to see what that would look like. So I think another roundabout. How would we actually do this? I think going to start by making as many right-hand turns separate as possible. I think that's going to be a huge part of what we do. And I'm also going to just, I want these to be a bit more wider than I just did. So use that up.
So my biggest goal while setting the interchange up was really making sure that industrial traffic now and in the future would be able to get over. So I made sure that there's plenty of capacity, trying to make the interchange look good while I do it. On the other hand, though, I'm also trying to make sure that these lanes work out. Like, as I'm sure you're seeing on the road marks, there's like turns that they're making that I don't want them to make because they have dedicated turn lanes. So it's all about just getting things to work. You can see that it was 4 lane road. It's really giving me a hard time. But after a little bit, I managed to get it, and the interchange really started to take shape.
So this is obviously going to be a right hand only. This is going to be a It's for you. This is going to be going to the left. And then obviously, no rights for you. You have a whole freaking ramp for this guy. No lefts. And I'm going to hope that there's no real issues. That should also solve any future industrial traffic problems just by having that there. I'm also going to include that. And this will include this. Just to make sure that we have a pretty good amount of lane mathematics to make sure that all this traffic flows nicely. Oop, there's actually what I missed. I can see that right-hand marker right from here. No rights for you. You have a whole dedicated right ramp. Same for you. There we go. Yeah, that shows, bro. Actually, yeah, no, there should be a left there because you also have a dedicated left turn right there. Um, yeah. All right, so I think all of these should be good, which is freaking amazing to see. Everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed that first episode. We did a lot. We did a lot to start this town off. We built not one but two ways into the city, another interchange here, and then that's not even counting the whole city that we built. Right? We got these farms started. We got this community here to support it. We got some industry here. So we are going to start having a burgeoning economy, I think, here. And as that happens, I think this is going to start growing a lot. Derby County has a lot in store. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all from me today. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys around.